The origin of Dieter. What's happening, film friends? Dave the Film Junkie here, bringing you a film review of Army of Thieves. Army of Thieves, of course, stars and is directed by Matthias. I'm not even going to try to attempt it. Yeah. You know me. I'm bad with last names. But it also stars Natalie Manuel, Ruby O'Fee, Gus Kahn, and then, of course, Stuart Martin, and, there's some other people in there, too. And, yes, this is essentially the origin story of Dieter that we've seen, that we've come to love when it comes to Army of the Dead. Probably, when it came to him and what's his name from Army of the Dead, it's just like, yeah, those two, I want to see more of them. So we're actually going to be seeing more of Dieter here. How did he get from, just being like that mundane, just living every day the same, the tropes that Zack Snyder, of course, who produced this, and this is, of course, the Snyderverse. So what did I think of Army of Thieves? Well, you guys already saw my first reaction. I enjoyed the absolute shit out of this movie. Matthias, man, he's a good director. I mean, you can really see that this was a good choice. Zack Snyder does not need to direct all the movies in this Army Snyderverse. He does not need to do that. He definitely does not need to do that. He can have other people attack these different little spin-offs here, and I think it worked. It worked very well, and that he took from Zack Snyder. Probably learned a lot when it came to Army of the Dead. And yes, there are tropes like a motherfucker in here because you got a guy named Brad Cage. But I love how they tell you how he came up with that, because I remember even making fun of like Brad Cage. What the hell? That's not a real name. How does that name come to be? But there's a significance to that name when it comes to all that. But yes, you get a whole team together. You have everybody doing their own thing. And man, Karina, Ruby O'Fee, new crush. Of course, she plays the hacker girl. And yes, it can be like, okay, we've seen this before. Sometimes you just kind of go like, okay, yeah, it gets a little too tropey. But at the same time, there are some hilarious moments, too, in this. There's one particular moment, and of course, I'm not going to mention certain things that happen in this movie, but Jesus Christ, there's one particular moment where I laughed my ass off. Because, Matthias, like, Dieter, he's such that nice guy, but he, of course, he's always like a bucket of nerves, which you see throughout when they go through each one. And what's cool about this, it does play out kind of like a video game, because you got level 1, level 2, level 3. It's like as they're going through these heists and these cracking these safes, and there's a significance to this. It's like Gwendolyn, it's not like she's just going, I want to score some big bucks. No, she wants to actually achieve a quest. She's doing this not just for the money. Of course, the money's great, but she's just doing this for a reason. She's doing this because she wants to actually achieve cracking these certain safes. Because like I said, there's just each person. You could really dig deep into the mythology of the Norse mythology and then of course just like look at each one of these characters and really kind of go like, oh. And it's just entertaining. It's super entertaining. You got Hans Zimmer doing the score, which is fantastic. It had that heisty kind of vibe to it. There was just like familiarities. It really just captures a lot of the tropes. So that might turn some people off. I get it. Some people are like, it's a little too tropey, a little too, and I know some people were saying it's boring. I was not bored. I was thoroughly entertained throughout this. And then I was kind of like, I think my only disappointment was like, oh man, because, you start having theories, and there's still going to be theories because there's very much, even though they don't really talk about it, but there's very much, you see that expanded world. You know for a fact that there's a zombie apocalypse happening in Vegas during all this. You see on the TV and whatnot, which I thought was great. I thought there was just enough to be like, oh yeah, remember, that's happening, and that's where he's eventually going to get to. And we, of course, see that. And then I'm just like, okay, now bring on the next chapter, which, of course, is prequel, which is the anime series, or the anime, I think it's a series or is a movie. I think it might be a movie that, we're going to get Lost Vegas, which is going to have a bigger cast. But yeah, there's definitely the expansion of that world. But it's very much, what I loved about it, though, is it's still very much contained. The story is still very much contained in its own movie. It's very much contained. And I love that. And like I said, thoroughly entertained. I think they kind of when it comes to like some of like the fighting and stuff, they might have revealed a little too much when it's just like, hey, because it's not going to be full on that. It's not going to be a crazy. It's not going to be like that kind of crazy heist movie. I mean, it's safe cracking. I mean, it's not like there's something that's, there's not drills involved. It's basically just putting your ear up to it and just kind of, he just knows his way. He just has that special ability to listen to each of these safes. And like I said, I love the fact of the backstory with it all. It gives just a little bit more of what's going on. And I was like, all right, because there's so many theories that came about when it came to Army of the Dead. Are they portals? What's going on with the time loop? And, maybe some people who wanted to get more of those answers of what was happening in Army of the Dead might be a little disappointed that you're not going to get those, like, fully. You're going to get some. And the thing is, though, I can't wait to watch it again because I know there's, and I'm not going to say what it is, but there's specific somethings that happen in here. I'm kind of going, just certain things. But yeah, can't wait to watch it again, and I'm definitely going to do that over the weekend. So really enjoyed Army of Thieves, enjoyed the shit out of it. And let me know your thoughts about it down below. What did you think of the movie? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? I can't wait for the next chapter. And you know what? I honestly think it's like this, the character of Dieter, which of course you get more, I mean, you get more of an origin than you actually think when it comes to him. I don't think, we didn't see him die in Army of the Dead. So I'm like, he's still alive. And I'm really hoping that's the case. Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts about it down below. What did you think of the movie? Hit that like, thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the join button if you want to become a member. Of course, got the Patreon, all that. And then, of course, down below, we got the Film Junkie Closet for merchandise. All right, guys. Talk to you later.